Hey everyone, Tracy here, Not Afraid to Color artist for ArtStacks. Today I'm going to be featuring some work from Tamara Laporte, or Tamara, also known as Willowing, hashtag Willowing. And I'm going to be using an image from her ArtStacks featured set, Artsy Animals. And here's a couple of stills of my image, my card that I made, and off we go. So, considering Sunday is Easter, I thought that I would go ahead and do sort of an Easter card. Sort of a spring type Easter card utilizing the rabbit from the Artsy Animals paper pack. So let's get started. Alright, what I have here is I have a piece of watercolor cardstock, and it's just plain old watercolor, nothing fancy. And I have this stamp set, which is actually a Christmas stamp set from Tim Holtz a couple years ago. I love this stamp as a background. So I'm going to grab the seedless preserves, and you're going to want a paper towel, and you're going to want your water sprayer, because we're going to be doing a little kind of fading sort of effect. So I'm just going to press the paper down onto the stamp and then pull off, and then I'm going to wet the whole doggone thing down, and then I'm going to blot. And it's going to leave the image, but it's going to leave it in a much lighter fashion. So let's go ahead and just get it dry. You want to make sure it's completely dry before we go on to the next step. Alright, now that I have it all nice and dry, now I'm going to add some abstract color. And I'm going to go in with the seedless preserves, and I'm just no rhyme or reason. This is completely abstract. I'm just putting color down, and this is what you do. And you know, it's freeing just to kind of go willy-nilly with your color. There's some sort of release with being able to do that versus the regimented things we do. And so then I'm going to go in with the wild honey, and I'm actually using colors that I'm seeing in the rabbit that we're going to be using. So, you know, kind of keep in mind when you're going to have a focal point that you want to kind of keep your colors either complementary or, you know, cool and warm, whatever it is you're going to do. Then I'm going to go in with the salty ocean and just add some blue here and there. And I'm going to try not to get it too much into the orange, because I don't want to make brown. If I do, I do. Okay, again, this is a project. These types of projects are meant for relaxation and fun. And now I'm going to get myself another clean paper towel, because I'm going to repeat the process I just did, and I'm going to douse this. But I'm not going to blot it up immediately. I'm going to let the ink move around a bit. But I'm getting it very, very wet, and then I'm just kind of picking up from the sides. Now I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of trimming on this, so I'm not too terribly worried about it getting brown and weird on the sides. But, you know, I do want to blot some of that up, because I don't want it to be my paper to be so soaked. So I'm just taking my paper towel and letting it kind of soak up that excess moisture, and then just blotting around the edges. And I'll of course want to keep that completely dry as well, or get that completely dry as well. So now that I've got it dry, I've got it flattened back out sort of, I'm going to go ahead and trim it down at this point to 4 by 5 1/4. I do end up changing my mind later and trimming it down some more, just for a better composition of the whole, you know, the whole piece. Alright, so we're going to be using this rabbit from the Artsy Animals, and we're going to be using these stars and hearts from the Fabulous Faces paper pack. And what I'm doing here is I'm just getting it wet so I can tear easily along the edge. And you'll see I make a mistake with this stuff. I struggle with it, let me be perfectly honest, but it doesn't mean I won't use it, because I really love doing this method. So I've got here a silicone brush, and I've got my Liquitex matte media, and I'm just going to do the back side of a little piece of this so I can kind of get my placement right. So I'm going to lay that down, and I want it up there in the corner. Now I'm just going to pull kind of the paper backwards and paint the gel medium on here. get it glued down, and you'll see right there it's wet and I accidentally ripped that heart. So I'm just going to tear it out with my fingernail and call it okay. Because again, this is something for fun and relaxation. The images themselves are so much fun all by themselves. So let me just kind of straighten out that star while it's wet, because you can do that. And then notice I'm wiping off my brush in between so that I'm not spreading my color to too many different places, because it will still react with the moisture of the glue. Let's fix that star. And I've got that dry. Now I'm just going to kind of clean up here because I want to get that glue out of my way. Now we're getting somewhere, right? We've got our background started. And here's the thing with this kind of thing. You've got to trust the process. Just do your thing and know that the next thing you're gonna do is gonna either enhance it or break it. It's just paper. What the heck, right? So I'm gonna cut my little rabbit out. And I will speed this up because I'm going to be fussy cutting just the rabbit. The cutest images, these animals, I swear I love, love, love them. So I'm just going to cut around. I'm not leaving any white space. And it's kind of a sort of almost a glossy piece of paper. And the only reason I'm cutting it out now is because I want to, continue to use it for placement of my other objects, my other kind of background textures and things. So I know rabbit's going to go in the corner there. And I've got this stamp, and it's a Lavinia stamp, and I can't think of the name of it. I'll try to link it down below. I just want words there. It really doesn't matter what the words say, but I want words. So I'm going to go in with the seedless preserves again. And I'm going to stamp down, get it nice and wet with that oxide, and I'm using all oxides for this project. I'm going to get myself a paper towel handy because I'm going to fade it out. I don't want it, you're barely even going to know it's there, okay? It's funny, the stuff we do for mixed media. So I'll go ahead and stamp this down, give it a good push. You could use any word or texture stamp you wanted. Then I'm going to douse it, and then I'm going to blot it, and that's going to fade that right down into the background. And then I'll need to dry it again, of course. Just blotting it out best I can, and then I'll dry it. See, you can barely even see the words now. All right, now that that's nice and dry, I'm going to grab my stencils. And this is a cute little stencil set. I've got this little piece of glue stuck to my finger I can't get off. Oh, we'll just leave it. And I'm going to stencil down some little carrots at the bottom because, I'm kind of making it loosely an Easter/springtime theme. So I'm going to go in with the ripe persimmon and a really small brush. And notice I just masked off a part of, those are eggs on there. And this stencil set, by the way, is called, hang on. I think I put it away already. I'll link it down below. And then I'm going to go in with peel paint for the leaves of the carrots. Excuse my bed hair. I tend to get up in the morning and start my video right away while I'm inspired. In the afternoon, I'm kind of... So I've got those carrots. Then I'm going to get the other carrots here. Mask off that portion. And go in with my peeled paint first. It doesn't matter which one you do first. It was just the one that was handy and next to me. Do the leaves. And then I'll go in with the ripe persimmon and do the carrots. I don't know of any other ink you could do this method with, but the oxides, they're magic. So I'm going to douse it and lift again, so that it's just an abstract idea of carrots. And go ahead and give it a dry. So there's a lot to this, and I know it's kind of a long video for me, but I wanted you to see the whole process of how people come up with these kinds of ideas. You see the finished product and you're like, I could never do that. Yes, you can. Okay, let's get Rabbit out. Decide where he's going to go. Well, we know he's going to go there, but I just want to look at where my things are. And now I'm grabbing one of my favorite Lavinia stencils here. It's a pretty good size stencil. I'm going to stencil in 3 different colors here, starting with the milled lavender. Because Oxide will color right over top of whatever you've got going there. It's fairly opaque. So I'm just using the little finger brushes that I got from Amazon to kind of come in and randomly in one spot stencil. So you can see I'm not going all over, I'm just going in that one spot. Then I'm going to come and I'm going to flip my stencil over and I'm going to grab the Wild Honey, I believe. Yep. Move my little rabbit out of the way. And you can see as you're looking at my ink pads how I chose my colors, because they all kind of go with Tam's sort of color way on the little rabbit. And then looking at it, trying to decide where I want to put my next stencil. He's going there. I think I need some up top. So let me grab the Salty Ocean. And I'm going to grab that same stencil and I'm going to just go right up above there. And just kind of across here a little bit. Just grab my little brush and stencil lightly in some areas, heavier in others. Again, it's a whole random process. Ish. Random-ish. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm kind of building up the corner where Rabbit's going to live. I straighten out my paper best I can. Set Rabbit on there again and take a look at the next element I want to use. And this also comes from the Fabulous Faces set. And I'm going to just, this time I'm not going to wet it, I'm just going to tear out that piece right there. I think that's super cool. And I'm going to use my gel medium again on my little brushy thingy, my little silicone brush. And this time I'm just going to lay the gel medium down onto my paper and put it on pretty heavy. I don't want to accidentally rip any portion of this because the whole thing is too cool to rip. And then I'm just kind of spreading the gel medium down and wiping off as I go, because I don't want to get any of that colored ink inside of my gel medium, and I don't want to spread it around too much. I just want to get this guy down. All right, so I dried that. You're going to dry each, with each piece. I'm just going to kind of tear off that edge there because it's, I don't know, it bugs me. Now I'm going to set my Rabbit down, and I've decided that I want him further up. So I'm going to trim my paper again. And I'm going to trim off the right and the bottom side, so I'm going to trim it down to 3 3/4 by 5. And then there I'm happy with where my Rabbit goes. Yeah, good place for Rabbit. All right, get ready to commit. Find my glue. All right, commit. Let's get some glue down and glue this bunny down. And I've got him right there in the corner. Perfect. Now he kind of fades out there into the background, and I really do want to make him stand out. So I'm grabbing my Stabilo pencils, and these are chalk pencils. They're probably my favorite thing. They're so wonderful. And I'm looking here for my blending stump. I can't remember which section I put it in. Where are you? There you are. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my chalk pencil and I'm going to trace around the rabbit. I'm going to sharpen it here a little bit so that it gets in close. And I'm just going to kind of color. And I'm just going a little bit at a time. And then I'm going to take my blending stump and just kind of blend that out. And notice how he's already popping out. That's exactly what we want. So you see, it's all a process. You have to trust that just because something doesn't look right to you now, there's an end game. And the reason I don't go the whole thing all at once is because if I make a mistake, it's going to be easier to erase a little bit than a whole bunch. So I'll just go a little bit at a time. Get in kind of heavier there around in the, in the recesses. And notice I chose purple over black or brown or gray because, this is a colorful card. I mean, Tam's work is colorful. I wouldn't want to dull it down. I could grunge it up big time, especially since I have the printables. I could take them right into Photoshop and pull their color. But no, her color choices and colorways are amazing and inspiring, and I wouldn't want to change a thing. I only want to enhance. I'm going to go a little heavier around there. If you don't have these pencils, I recommend trying them. I get them at Blix, and I bought a whole set because I love them so much, but you can get them individually, and just if nothing else, get a gray one and a black one and a white one. So I'm going to color in the butterfly with some orange, and then I'm using my finger to smudge it, and then some blue around in its wings. I don't want to go too heavy on it. I'll use my blending stump for that part anyway. And then I want to color my top pieces. So I'm going to grab a yellow, and there's no color on these things, so I couldn't tell you it's yellow. I can tell you it's yellow. And I'm going to do my stars in yellow. And just kind of smudge them out. They don't have to be perfect. It's abstract. It's wild. It's whimsy. I'm going to do the little, going to grab kind of this apple green and do the little baubles. And do little hearts in red. I'm going to smudge them out and put a second coat on because I want it to be a nice bright red. Just to add some pop. And then I'm going to do the flower center in orange. And then do its little petals in pink. And I'll smudge that out with my finger. And I'll go ahead and do this oddball little piece there in the pink. Alright, so far so good, right? I'm going to take and trim off all this excess tissue paper now. And then we're going to go on to the next step, which I'm going to edge this. I want to do the edge in a darker shade. So I'm going to grab my VersaFine Claret Monarch. And I'm going to grab one of my finger sponges here and just come in and just go around all the edges. Nothing new here. You see me do this all the time, just a different tool because I don't want to go too heavy, but I definitely want to, bring everything into focus. And here I've got a craft card base, and I'm going to go ahead and pop this up onto that craft card base. I'm just going to quickly clean up here so I don't get my card base all dirty. Get this kind of straightened out, and I'm going to grab a little washi here because I'm lately obsessed with black and white washies. I don't care which kind they are or what size. I'm just obsessed with them. So I'm just going to put a couple of pieces on here randomly, just on the edges, just to kind of, I don't know, pull everything in. And because I like it, that's all. So I've got my foam tape here, and I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and pop this guy up. Okay, peeling these off with my left hand because my poor right hand bandaged thumb doesn't work. It doesn't want to grab things. I always make sure that my card is the right way and get it kind of centered and just pop it down. Now all we have left to do are the finishing touches here. And there's a few of them. So I'm grabbing these words. These are from Tim Holtz. And I want to grab blessings, blessed and possibility is what I'm grabbing. So to kind of give it a little bit more of an Easter feel in a roundabout way. All right, now we need some splatters on here, but I want my splatters a little bit under control. I'm going to grab my white Posca pen. Well, also I'm going to have some bling on here, so I've got my bling out, but let's get the Posca pen. Let's keep myself focused here. And first I'm going to shake it up, of course. And this is one of the smaller tip ones, and I'm just going to put some white dots here and there, different sizes. Just, you know, more texture, more interest. And I'll show you what you can do with these Posca pens. But you want to be careful because they get nice and wet. You can actually drip some out of it. A bit. I didn't want to go too crazy. But I did want a couple of white splatters. And then I'm going to grab my black Posca pen and kind of, you know, repeat the action there. Let's get some just little black dots here and there. Just to pull in color, or pull in lack of color, pull in texture. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to call it because I'm not a trained artist. So, you know, we'll pull in noise. That's what I'm going to call it. I know what noise is. And mostly I'm just doing dots with this. Random dots. One little dot on the rabbit. Why not? My black one, see, doesn't really want to do what the white one did, so I'm just going to move on before I have an accident. Put a couple little more dots. I don't want any accidents. All right, now let's get the bling here, and I think I'm going to go with my tried and true favorite, these Trinity stamps, Holographic Stars, mostly because there's stars all over this picture already. So I think I'll stay within the star theme and dump a little bit of stars out here and just randomly glue them on. So I've got my little picker tool, and I'm going to end up getting out more stars because there's 3 sizes there, and I want to make sure that I'm getting all 3 sizes. So I'm going to first just put my glue down, and then I'll go ahead and grab some stars. And the glue dries clear, so no big deal if it, you know, if it pushes out from the star. So just different sizes and just placing them where I place the glue. And there's some spots it does get confusing because I've got white specks on there too that might be glue. Put one here, put one there, put one up there. And I just do a little bit at a time until, because if I do too many, then my glue's going to dry. And if I change my mind about placement, yeah, I'm going to have a little glue dot there. Not that it's a huge deal, but yeah, let's get some more of these stars out. I need some more size. And let's go ahead and just drop things too. Yeah, that's kind of me in my craft room. Things falling on the floor and profanity falling out of my mouth. Now what did I drop? As long as it's not my scissors on my foot, I'm probably okay. Okay, just get a few more of these down and we'll be done with this card. I thank you for coming and hanging out with me and watching my video here for ArtStacks. I'm going to be uploading this to my channel, and I'm going to be uploading it to ArtStacks channel. So, you know, folks that don't necessarily follow me can still see the video. But if you like this video, do consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. I'm going to put a little star in Rabbit's ear here. I think that's the medium-sized one. Move it exactly where I want it. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's it. Here we are up close. Our little Easter card using Tam's Artsy Animals and Fabulous Faces paper pack. Hey, thanks for coming to watch and seeing my sore thumb. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Happy Easter. Bye-bye.